features. So this is the second video I'm making on what it is I'm looking for in your CAD models for moderation. So I'm going to go through this list here, which I've sent to you. One little point, this number 6, the except when, that point there, I think I can change. Actually, I will change it. So I sort of know what this says. Let's just go through this one by one. So when I get your part, I pull it in like this. I go to the first feature, I look at the sketch straight away, and I see if it's fully defined. So this one's fairly uncontroversial. There's not a lot to deal with. Let's go square 2 just to have a look. The origin point is the starting point for everything, so that's great. It has center lines in. All right, those were built into the sketch because it's this one here. No, it's that one there. So wherever I started, there will be center lines. So this was fairly simple, and it's got the dimensions in, so I can drive it if I want to. So no problems here. This is fairly easy, and I'm not putting in what some of you like to do, is to go like this. This is really not a good idea for most of the work that you do, because then you are creating problems with the molding. Moving on from there, let's go to the next step or number of steps. Let me just see what else I've done. Alright, so I was going to put in a little undercut here for a clip, so I've put that feature in before I put in the shelling. There's the shell, you can see, okay, and then this boss, that is this piece here. So I'm adding these pieces on. That's a very sort of thin thing. That's just to simulate all of these things here, just not to detail that piece here, to simulate the hinge. These two fillets here I've added in afterwards because they wouldn't happen nicely with the shell, but I've calculated them as being acceptable for keeping a wall thickness and keeping flow of material. So that's what those are doing. So I'm not expecting you to do this level of detail. I'm just showing you the sequence in which I want you should do it. So really put your features in first, then do the shelling, and then with the very small radii, the very small fillets, put them in afterwards. Okay, so these here I could have actually have done as cuts into the part first and then shelled them. I added them later because I thought of them later, but I should actually go back to my sketch, or I should actually put them in as holes, but that's okay. Right, same thing here with this little division and these fillets. These are all just adding in details, but what you will notice now is that I've actually put in depressions so that the wall thickness is kept constant. So if we do a section through, you'll see there that my wall thickness is fairly constant. So if you're going to put in features, as some of you have done, make sure that you core them. Well, core just means give them some sort of open space so that there's a constant wall thickness. What I've done here, this is not all that good because that radius there is too large, or that one there is too small, one of the two. That's a very large area in between. So let me see if I can go and fix that up. And then reselect. So I'm going to select the inside ones, just that one there and that one, and then we'll leave those alone. And that should be here, sort of 1.25, I think is about the smallest you'd want to go. Let's see if we do it in this one as well. Okay, that's good. And then this one here should be a larger fillet. So let's just go, I'm not going to put that in for now. Let's just have a look. That looks much better. And so this one here should be quite a large radius. But I'm going to leave it out for now, just for time's sake. Okay, so let's see what else I've done here. So the boss fillets, these are other things, and then I put the ribs in. which I've just shown you in an earlier video. So if you've got that kind of sequence and it's all working, and I do section views through here, and I measure things, what I'll do is I will actually go and measure that, and then I will also measure your wall thickness to see if the two add up to that's 60% or 66% at most. Alright, but with the section view I can see that all the tapers are in as well. While we're here, I'm going to have a look at this sketch here. So I would typically look at one or two other sketches to make sure that they were fully defined and that everything was correct. So here is my origin point. I've got a center line in place. In this case that makes sense because I want to make these to be symmetric, and then put a dimension in. And by the way, please round your dimensions off. Don't give me 32.69 or 35.43. It's just making things unnecessarily complicated. Okay, so let's make that say 6. And then the distance between these two, 20, which will, and so everything's gone black. Perfect. So just to illustrate, if I had put in a spline instead, so let's go to the splines tool. So that was a style spline, and you'd use a degree 3. And you had put that in, as long as you had something like some positions in here by which you could control it. And positions always means X, Y. It doesn't just mean one. Like that one on its own is not good enough. You want to have them both, right? So if you've done that and you put in another one, and put in third one, fourth one, so 27. So I just want to change that to 25, and an end. How to show that? So if you had those in place and they were neatly spaced, and you know that everything was, then I'd be happy with that. That would be good enough on a spline. Right, so I hope that helps. Good luck with your final project.